In today's Ask Joe, we are talking about how do you move from earning 50 to 60K a year to crossing that $100,000 milestone. This episode of Ask Joe is brought to you by Copy School, which is going to give you incredible confidence so that you can ask for more money. Today's question comes from Anna B. Anna asks, do you have a top suggestion or mindset shift for getting from 60K to $100,000 a year? Most of my projects have been about $1,000 to $3,000. It's a great question. It happens a lot. It can be scary to kind of cross that threshold beyond $3,000 gigs to $5,000 gigs. Part of it often is, are you choosing the right clients to work with? And I know there's this often a scarcity mindset. There aren't enough good clients out there. And that's largely because you're getting leads coming in who tell you or show you that they've only got $1,000 to $3,000, which, to be fair, is still a nice, healthy budget. It's just not the kind of budget that you're used to seeing or accepting as a conversion copywriter. So we need to make sure that we are attracting clients to us or leads to us that actually have some budget to spend. And in order to have budget to spend, they have to have a profitable business. And they also have to value what copywriters do. So I might have a very profitable business, but if I think copywriters are wordsmiths and they just fiddle around with words, then I'm unlikely to find a larger budget. But if I'm profitable and I value copywriters, then it's much easier to get me from guesstimating this $3,000 budget to understanding that this is going to be a $10,000 project and why. So there's a whole bunch of ways to going about actually raising your rates, but one of them is you need to make sure that you're working with the right kinds of clients. If you're not attracting those clients, we have other Ask Joes that cover this stuff and more to come. So take a look around Copyhackers for that. But let's focus then on, okay, you have a minimum project rate. You want to be able to say, hey, my minimum project is $5,000, but you're finding yourself accepting $3,000 projects. One thing to do outside of making sure you're targeting the right clients, prospective clients at least, is go ahead and say no to a lead. So when you're having that call and you run the estimated budget by this person, and you say something like, okay, based on our discussion, so you'll have had a discussion by this point. You want to make sure that you're coming at this in a consultative sort of manner. So try not to be terrified of this lead. Try not to be too hungry for the work. Even if you are, you don't have to show that. You can just do what it takes to be cooler than that. Chill. Because they probably want exactly what you have too. And good, you're in a good negotiating position since they want what you have. Okay, so if you're like, okay, cool. So for a project like this, I would see, typically this comes in around 8 to 10K. How does that sit with your budget? And then they go, oof, that's way over. We were budgeting $2,500. In which case you go, oh, okay, I understand. I mean, it's too bad we can't work together this time, but perhaps down the road. And then this is that weird moment for a lot of leads where they are not used to hearing no. They didn't expect a no. They expect that you're auditioning for them. And this is weird for the person auditioning to walk out of the room. And so some will be thrown. Others will accept that and go like, okay, well, I'm glad we were able to meet at least. And if anything else comes up down the road, I've really enjoyed talking with you and it'd be nice to see if we can work with you later. Say, great. And you both move on with your lives. Then there's the other group that's like, did she just say no? did he just say no? Did they just say no? And they want to hear yes from you. They like yeses, no. So now they're more interested. And sometimes they were coming up with this $2,500 budget just by pulling it out of the sky. Or the last freelancer they hired, who was a freelance proofreader, charged about $50 an hour. And so they're using that as a way to estimate what this homepage rewrite is going to cost them, or this, 3-page funnel is going to cost them. And they're like, well, it'll probably take about this many hours. So that's about $2,500. And that's where it came from. And it's not real. It's not a real fixed number that's unchangeable. Sometimes it's just a rando guess. And that doesn't mean that they have $10,000, but they guessed at their estimate and they were wrong. Okay, that's fair. How do they now go? This often does happen where they go, oh, okay, so I didn't realize what this costs. If you've had a good talk with this person, then you're like, I do want to work with them. If the lead has had problematic freelancer experiences before, which freelancers who are good at your job, take comfort. If you're good, you're going to keep getting work. If you're good to work with, if you're nice and you show up to meetings and smile and make it feel like you're not stressing and you're not stressing them out, if you're a good freelancer to work with, they're going to like seeing you on the call. They're going to like talking to you. They feel like they can actually outsource part of their job to a professional that they like. And so if they can't afford you in that moment, they start to struggle to figure out, well, how can we afford you? And that's when you can start talking through why you charge what you do. If they're like, oh, I mean, we'd really like to do this. I don't know how we're going to move from 2,500 to 8,000 to 10,000. You can say, hey, that's what this has cost in the past. This has been the estimate that I've come up with. This is basically what it's come out to be for these projects that I've done that are similar to this. Here's why it's that. And now you're not negotiating at this point. You're just walking them through what you do so that they understand the difference between you with your conversion copywriting process and someone else who says they'll get the job done in 2 weeks and waits till the night before it's due to whip the thing up. And you can tell, and it's bad. And it's a horrible experience for the client. But once they can see that you're the pro, then even if they can't afford you that time, they're more interested in hiring you next time. So say no to things that are too low. You have to start doing this, or you will keep saying yes to those things. And then you will be wasting your time and energy on those things while also working with people who don't understand your value. And I know $2,500 feels like a lot of money for a business to spend on a copywriter, but it's a very small amount of money for a business to spend on a copywriter. It's okay that a business can't afford you. It's okay that a business is too early stage to afford a good copywriter. You don't have to give them your services. You can just say no and go forward knowing that $2,500 for a 3-page funnel in this example is too low because you've done this several times, because you're good at it, because you're a good freelancer too. And that's how you start to just say no. It's by saying no and then watch what happens when you have the courage to say no. Thanks for watching. If you have got a question for a future Ask Joe, be sure to leave it in the comments. If you would like to dive deeper into what we talked about today, head over to copyhackers.com or follow the links in the description. And be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications so you do not miss another Ask Joe.